Hello all, good morning. Let's start the today's session. So just for a recap, in the previous session, we were discussing about how to create a trial account, and we already created a trial account as well. So to create a trial account, there Salesforce CRM supports different editions there. So in which we are using this developer trial account, and for every trial account we have some license for every account, not only for trial. For any editions you can take, you could see some user licenses. So we are going to see this, what is this licenses and how this is going to work for the users and all. And I also provided some basic knowledge on what is multi-tenant architecture, which is used by the Salesforce CRM. And some of the few keywords are some of the terminology which we are regularly using in the Salesforce. That is tenant and instance and organization URL. We just seen what is tenant, what is instances and all. So why the different instances is required and where these instances will be created. That's what we are discussing while discussing this multi-tenant architecture. And to create a trial account, we need to have the email ID. So with the email ID, you are able to create a trial account. As you know, trial account is like free account. So you don't need to pay a single piece, NPI to say. So it is like free of cost, where if you are regularly logging into the account, it will last minimum 6 months. So if you are not able to log in for 2 weeks, the trial account will be expired. And also the trial account, I suggested or recommended to use this account to create a trial account. That is developer.salesforce.com/signup. And this is the organization URL. After creating a trial, we have seen what is the steps to create a trial account. And while creating a trial account, after creating a trial account, you get an email notification with the org URL and your user ID. So the user ID is also will be automatically generated by the system. So in order to log into the trial account, you can use login.salesforce.com or this organization URL. So if it is not possible or it is harder to remember this org URL, then simply use login.salesforce.com. That means in the real-time scenarios, if you are working for an Infosys, TCS, Wipro, or any company for any client, so you don't need to bother about the org URL. Simply you can use the login.salesforce.com and with your credentials. So it will automatically redirect to the appropriate org URL. So this is what we are seeing in the yesterday's session. So today let's see some information that is about. So now let's say we have created a trial account. Now you need to understand how to use the trial account, right? So let's try to focus some basic setup information like company information, how to set up the company information, like business hours, calendar. Let's see some of this stuff. So immediately, once creating a trial account, you need to set up your account. Let's see how you are going to set up this account. So as I said, just to log in, you can use login.salesforce.com and it will ask for your username, that is user ID and password. Click on continue. So every time it asks you for the mobile number if you have not provided the mobile number, but that's up to you. You can simply ignore the remind me later. So this is like basic, the home page. Whenever you are trying to log into the trial account, this is how the Salesforce looks like. Now let's try to understand the interface, how to interact with the Salesforce. So here you could see the cloud-based logo. This is nothing but the Salesforce cloud logo. So if you are working for any company, let's say you are working for an BMW company. So you can have your BMW logo here. So whatever the client you are to whichever client you are working, so you can add their logo here, right? And this is like waffle, the symbol like waffle. This is nothing but the app launcher. So if you put the cursor, it shows the app launcher. So if you want to switch between the different applications or different clouds, you can use this app launcher. So what do you mean by different clouds here? So in the demo session, we were discussing that CRM will provide three core business applications. That is marketing, sales, and service, right? Now, marketing is one application, sales is one application, service is another application. You can also refer it as clouds here. So here, if you want to, currently you are in a sales cloud. That is like if you want to do some sales activity, this is the application or this is the cloud where you are going to work for the sales related process. So in the same way, so if you would like to switch between the different application. Now let's say I want to switch to service here. You can use this waffle, that is app launcher. If you click on this app launcher, so it will provide all the applications or the clouds which is provided by the Salesforce CRM. So if you click on view all, so you could see developer edition, automation, digital experience, community, marketing, service. So these are like some of the clouds which is provided by the Salesforce CRM. So you may ask, like, you are just targeting like CRM application, there is marketing, sales, and service. But what about all this stuff? This is like, now let's say if you want to do some automation process. So what is automation? Now let's say whenever the lead is generated in the system, so automatically it should send one email to the customer, or it should send an email to the internal team stating that we have received a lead, please contact the lead and go for the next process. So some automation email should be drafted, should be sent without manual interventions. So in that scenario, you can use this automation. If you click on this automation here, so here you can create some automation techniques. So here you could see you can create some automation. So this is like shortcut where you can create some applications in a application based things. So I mean to say, in which area you want to work, you can just add those components as a single application and you can use the application. In the same way, here there is like lot of applications which is provided by the Salesforce, as well as you are also going to create the applications based upon the customer requirement. But overall, if you understand the concepts here, that is the same concept will apply everywhere. In a simple language, so if you know A to Z, all the letters, you can frame any sentences, right? Any words there. In the same way, if you understand the basic concept of Salesforce CRM, that is easy to understand any sort of application. But only the thing is why this application was created and what is the flow of this application. What is the flow in the sense? Now, if you take the sales here, first the lead will be qualified and it will generate a customer and it will create an opportunity. From there, it will generate a quotation. Once you share the quotation to the customer, then invoice will be generated. This is like in detail we will discuss later, but this is like flow for the sales. In the same way, service has one flow, marketing has one flow, and other applications has their own data flows that you need to understand. So the remaining everything, the concepts like how to implement or how to create this application, everything is like same. Now let's come back to the UI introduction here. That is user interface, how the Salesforce look and feel, and what is all these options. Now, as I said, this is app launcher where you can switch between the different application. So this will show you like currently on which application you have opened. Now this is like service application. If you see the service application, the cloud, the same cloud it shows, and here the icons, everything it's like same. So if you want to switch between, simply type the application name and click on sales here. So this is like sales application, right? And whatever the buttons you are seeing here, this is like, you can also call it as a tab. Tab is nothing but, now let's say if you want to see your contacts information. So contacts is like customer information. Click on contact. If you click on this tab, it will display you the list of contacts available in the system. So the system will provide some dummy data. So this is how it will provide some dummy data on the trial account. This is how the data looks like. Now here you could see Andy from Dickinson, and this is the title and his phone number and email and all. This is how the data can be accessed from an objects in the database. Here I'm using the name as object. So what is object? So in the database, you used to call the if you take the regular database, right? Like SQL Server or Oracle, you may be aware of it. If you are comes from the any computer background, I mean say BTech or MCA, BSc computers, you know what is database, right? So just to compare with the database here and Salesforce here. So here we used to call it as a table, and here we used to call it as object. So object is nothing but table in the database. So why we create tables? Table just to maintain the data, right? Now this is contact table in the database. So this contact table has name, account name, title, phone, email, and etc. This is like columns which is created in the table. So this is how you are able to see the data from the front end. You know, right? This is not the direct database. This is just you are accessing the data from this application, and you are populating the data to the front end user who are using this system. So to access the data, you need to create a tab for that particular object. So once the tab is created, then you can easily access the data, whatever the data you have on this particular table or particular object. So this is app launcher, app name, and these are the tabs. And this is like image. So this is like unique. If you are switching between any application, everywhere it is the same terminology which you are going to use. And here you could see the search here. So what is this search? This is search of this. We can call it as a global search. So what is this global search? So this is not something which you can search from a table, from a particular object. This can be used to search wherever you want. Now let's say I'm just searching with some name S-Force. So you can take anything like your name as well. So if I'm searching for some data like Salesforce, so here it shows there is an account like S-Force on an account object. And that means the system will automatically search the records in all these particular objects. It has searched from accounts, chatter, opportunity, leads, task, file, contacts, and all. That means the system has searched for this value from all these particular objects. So among the searches, it found the name only in the account. That means this global search will work as a search engine. This is where from the CRM, from the Salesforce CRM, you can search whatever the data you want to search for. So it will search from the different tables or objects in the database. And whatever the application you are switching, so everywhere you could see this global search. And here you could see some buttons. So this is like profile, whenever you are logging to any account, it will display your name. So on the day we have created first name as Yaksha and last name as YIT. So Yaksha YIT, right? This is my name and this is my organization URL. And if you want to have some settings for it and log out, you could see the regular button. And display density, just configure compact for the resolution and all. And there is like options here, switch to Salesforce Classic. So what is the Salesforce Classic? Before 2 or 3 years back, the Salesforce, it is not like 3 years, I guess it is almost 4 years now. So before 4 years, the look and feel of the Salesforce CRM is completely different. So if you click, that is like old version of Salesforce. Whatever you are seeing now, this is like Lightning Web Components, Lightning Experience. But this is like switch to, this is the Lightning, this is the old classic interface, old appearance. I mean to say, this is how the system looks like in the olden days. Olden days and so before 4 years. So now everything, the system was redesigned and everything was converted to Lightning experience scenario. So why this change has happened in the sense, the Salesforce has like different, has some research and development team to improvise their product or to give good feel and good look and feel experience to the end users and to fix some latency issues. What is latency issue here? So whenever you are trying to load the page, so the page loading time, if the page loading time excess beyond 5 to 6 seconds, that will be treated as a latency issue. I mean to say now if I'm trying to access the account here, so this page should be loaded within 3 to 4 seconds. So if it is beyond 6 to 7 seconds, that will be treated as a latency issue. The page loading time is more, then that will give a negative impact, that will degrade the system, right? That will degrade the applications where the end users will have less tolerance to work with the latency pages, right? So to improvise the product, the Salesforce has introduced lightning experience. So that is what which we are going to see, lightning web components and all. So whatever the application you are going to develop, so if you want to create a new application in the system, that new applications will be created as a lightning experience web applications, lightning experience applications. You can't create a classic applications. So that is going to be deprecated. Maybe in the future, you may not able to see this link as well. But for now, still it exists. But in the future, this for the look and feel as well, just to look as well, just to click, also the link may be removed. That's up to the Salesforce scenario, Salesforce bucket. That is in the Salesforce bucket. So up to which releases they will allow this one. But no one is using this Salesforce Classic. You can't even create a Salesforce Classic applications now. And add user. So here we have created a trial account. Currently, I have only one user like Yaksha IT. So if you want to allow other users to access this instance, this system, you can click on add username and add the users there. So if you click on add username, it will take you to the username. So it got logged out. Let me log in again. Okay, so it is has some issue there. So if you are not able to add username from here, there is like I will explain you in the backend how to add the username and all. So usually it will take you to the backend settings page. So I will show you that one as well. So, but this is the profile. This is like profile button. So to view your profile, you can click on it. And here it shows the notification icon. This notification is work as a self-assistant. What is this self-assistant in the sense? Now let's say here there is some notification from Salesforce. As you have freshly started the trial account, just it is giving some guidance information like how to use the system. So here to set up accounts and contacts. So here is like accounts and contacts, how to set up the contact information, accounts and contacts. This is just giving some basic notifications here. But in general, what will happen? This notification will work as a self-assistant. So now let's say you are working in a sales module or sales cloud. So if you have any appointments with your customers or you have received any emails from your customers, so it will give you a notification message to you like you have received a new email or you have an appointment with so and so customer on so and so time and so and so date. So whatever the upcoming events you have, that everything will be notified here, right? That is taken care by the system. So you don't need to bother about it. That's like Salesforce functionality. And this is like setting or gearbox icon, which you could say. This is like settings. This is nothing but the setup. So in the demo session, I explained, right? So the Salesforce will allows you to customize the existing system as well. So this is not something like where the Salesforce has provided some concepts. You should only use those concepts. It is not like that. You can customize the system. The Salesforce will allows you to customize this application. Now, what is the point of customization? What is customization here? So the customization is nothing but, now let's say here I have some tabs or some of the tables here or objects here. So if I want to add one more object for the existing, so that will be treated as a customization work. Otherwise, now let's say here I have the contacts. So in the contacts, I have some columns here like name, account name, title, phone, email, and all. So if you want to add new column to the existing object, that will be treated as a customization work. Whatever the customizations you want to make, that everything can be carried out from the setup page. So what is setup page? If you click on this setup, it will take you to the new tab. This is the look and feel of the setup page. So this is how it looks like. So currently you are on the setup and same logo, global search, and these icons are same. Here it shows all the information related to your setup. So you can use different functionality here to set up your systems. So this setup will be discussed. So everywhere, like I meant to say, throughout your career, most of the time we are landing on this setup page only to customize the applications or to create a new applications and all. This is the page which we are going to use, right? Just for now, just close the setup page. And this is the setup where you can have some configurations to it. And what is this options here? For data cloud, now let's say if you want to work for the data, work on the data, like if you want to import some data or if you want to export the data from Salesforce. So here the setup you could see there is lot of options in the setup, right? So instead of it, there is like some dedicated setup has provided. So if you click on this data cloud setup, so it will help you to work with the data thing. So if you want to import or export the data, so where you can simply work on this data related things. So here you could see the permission sets, users and all. The same you can also see in the regular setup. So now this is like regular setup. Here also you can see the permission set that you could see, but just it was segregated as a data cloud setup where you can interact with only data related settings there. So in the same way, so it provides the service setup. You have the some service cloud, right? So service sector will place an important role in any organizations who are using the CRM. Now let's say you have, as a customer, you purchase a product for one time, but you may getting the service for so many times. That means you are going to interact with that company for so many times in for the service. So the service sector plays an important role for any company. Like how to use regarding the service, we are going to configure the system. Like whenever the case raised by the customer, in how much time your agent is responding to the customer, in how much time he is going to provide response to the customer or provide solution to the customer. For this, we have a lot of things we need to do for the setup. So this service setup will help you to have some configuration for the service application. So to the service cloud will be used as a ticketing tool. The ServiceNow, right? ServiceNow is one of the cores which is available in the market. What is ServiceNow? It works as a ticketing tool. Ticketing tool. If the customer raises any ticket to the company, so how the customer service team is handling the ticket. That for it is like modem where you are handling the tickets there. In the same way, in Salesforce, we are going to use the service as a ticketing tool. In the same way, Salesforce Go. So there is like different setup where you are if you want to have some integrations with some other products, you can use these items and all. Developer console where if you want to write some Apex code, you can use this developer console to write your Apex code and all. And this is how the setup, this gearbox or setting icon, which helps you to set up your system, to customize or configure your system. So what is this Salesforce help? So this Salesforce help is nothing but it will provide you some links to the Salesforce repository where it has some communities, Salesforce communities, where a lot of discussions are going there. Or if you want to search on any topic, so this will provide you some help related documents there. So click on confirm. It will take you to the community page of Salesforce where you can where you can have some knowledge or you can get some access on this particular topics. So there is a lot of people were interacting here, the community portals, where if you have any question, discussions and forums, right? Forums and discussions. In the same way, you can use this Salesforce, where if you have any questions, you can ask here and you can work on this particular things. And here you could see, you may notice that agent force, how can agent force help? And also if you notice there, so whenever you are creating a trial account, it shows the agent force. What is this agent force? Nowadays, everywhere you are seeing the AI, artificial intelligence, right? Previously, we used to call it as Einstein's for the artificial intelligence. Now everything it got changed to agent force. This agent force is nothing but the Salesforce AI, Salesforce artificial intelligence. So there is nothing much difference. So, some AI functionalities were automatically implemented by the Salesforce. So usually this AI is going to help you more on the service sector. So now let's say if customer has raised any ticket. So if there is any previous related tickets, so the AI will fetch you the details and provide you the related cases. Or so if you want to write an email to the customer, so the AI will automatically draft an email for you. So this is how the AI will be used in your regular things. So in the coming days, we are going to see how to use this agent force as well. So you can also check here agent force, whatever, if you have any questions and all, you can go with this agent force and all. So we'll see this agent force later. This is like recently just added to this Salesforce, like to implement the AI technologies in the Salesforce. And it will provide, as I said, if you want to have some new releases there. So whatever the new upcoming releases, everything it is maintained in the public facing documents where you can get the direct link from the Salesforce only. So here you could see Salesforce Winter 26 release notes. So this is how the releases were planned, like summer release, winter release, spring release. In that way, Salesforce will release for every quarter. For every quarter, you are going to see some changes or some new functionalities, or the look and feel may be changed. So if the product has any issues, that will be fixed, that everything is carried out in every releases. So regarding the release notes, they will maintain here in the view release notes. Got it? And this work as a guidance center. So it is again the same, it will provide some suggestions for you how to use your Salesforce here. So if you want to define some sales process for your company, so it will give some guidance or some links here. Again, the public facing documents will be provided in the guidance center. So you can access your own, here you could see. So based upon the topic, it will provide you some proper documentation, like how to access your system and all. This is like self-explanatory thing, right? And this will be treated as a global actions. The global actions is nothing but, so quickly, if you want to create some records in the database. So now let's say you are doing some activity on this particular account. So you are working and you may doing some activity here. So all of a sudden you had a call from customer to the customer service center, and if they ask you to raise a ticket on behalf of you. So the agent can simply, without navigating from the screen, so he can simply use this global action and he can create a new case from here. So without navigating from the existing page, so quickly he can create a case on behalf of a customer. This is how the global actions can be created. This is not only for case. So if you want to create an event, task, contact, or whatever the information, you can also create your own. Now let's say here there is no account. Let's say here there is no account, right? So if you want to quickly create an account for the global action, I mean, so if you want to quickly create a record in the account, then you can add this account to the global action as well. So based upon your requirement, you can add the objects to this global action, right? And coming to this star here, this is like nothing but your pinned or favorite records. Now let's say if you want to make this as a favorite, simply click on this particular favorite. Now United Oil and Gas Corporation was added to your favorite list. So this will automatically add to the favorite list, so that now if you are in any page, so if you want to access your favorite list, simply click on it. It will take you to the favorite list. Whatever the things we have discussed in the top banner here, like cloud image or the waffle or the application name on these tabs and global search on these buttons, this everything is common for whatever the applications you are going to see in Salesforce. This is not only for the standard application which is provided by the Salesforce, but also if you are going to create new application in the system, for the newly created application as well, the scenario, the look and feel is same. Getting my point? Now currently we are in the sales. If you observe the top buttons and all, and if you navigate to the another cloud or another application, so here it shows the same scenario, same logo, and it has some tabs. Maybe the name of the tabs, the objects they are using may be different, but the look and feel and the logic they are using, it is like same, and the global search and these buttons, right? So this is what the look and feel uh, for the Salesforce front page, right? Now, as a basic understanding, so I mean to say, whenever you are going with the Salesforce, now you know the UI interface. So how to use this particular Salesforce. So how the look and feel and all, right? So now let's try to understand, like after creating a trial account, how to set up your account. Now this is simply my trial account. This is simply my trial account, and I want to set up some company information and all. So I want to set up some company information here, let's say. So how to set up that one? So here, while setting up the things, there is like two types of scenarios. So I mean to say, in your entire Salesforce career, so in the real time, they will assign some tasks to you to complete. If you are working on any product, they will assign some tasks to you. The task in two types. The task will be two types. One is configurations, and the other one is customization. So these are the two types of tasks which you are going to see. So what is configurations here? The configuration comes like you are going to set up the organization data, and you are going to create some users in the system, and you are going to apply some security concepts. These activities, these tasks, everything falls under configuration work. So if you want to set some basic master data, or if you want to create some users in the system, currently, I have created a trial account with the first name, last name as Yaksha IT. So currently, only the user with the name Yaksha can able to access the Salesforce account. Now, if you want to allow other users to access your Salesforce organization URL or Salesforce instance, you need to add other users to the system, right? So how to add those users, we'll see separately. But adding the users falls under configuration bucket. So it is like configuration tasks. And if you have some users in the instance or in the organization, definitely there should be some security concept. Why? Because you are dealing with some customers' data. So any company will do the business based upon the data. Data makes money, right? Customer information data will makes money. By end of the day, whatever the data you have, you are going to do business with that data. That means you have some customers information data. You are just contacting the customers and explaining your product details and making the sale, right? So here, as the data is very much important, so you need to maintain some security concepts so that the data can be visible to the users who has the authorizations to the data. So we have the security concepts which we are going to implement in the Salesforce to maintain the security things there. So the security related information, this everything falls under configuration part, right? And coming to the customizations here, now let's say you have some, now how you are able to see all these particular tables and all, that's what Salesforce has some research and development team. So they will do some research, I mean to say, throughout the globe. If you take any companies, as I mentioned in the demo, it might be manufacturing company, it might be the banking, automobiles, or oil and industry, or gas, or whatever. So the main goal of the companies is to have some marketing for their product and to do the sales process. And if they want to provide any service to it, they need to provide the service. So keeping this in mind, they have developed some applications with some tables in the database, and whatever the columns is required for the table, that everything is like predefined and already designed in the system, so that the users can just plug and play the scenarios. Simple as created a Gmail account, they have created, and they can start adding their contacts, accounts, information and all, right? But there may be a point where the customers want to have their own approach, or they want to have their own tables in the database or objects in the database. In Salesforce, we need to refer it as an object, but not like the table. So just go with the terminology. From here, I'm just referencing this as an object, but not the table. But both are same. In Salesforce, you used to call it as an object, right? So as I was telling, so whatever the customer may need their different columns on an object, or they want to have the different business process as compared with the standard Salesforce process. They want to create their own process. So for that, the developer comes into the picture, and developer will do these activities. Like based upon the customer requirement, they can create objects. So creating an object falls under customization bucket, and developing some code by using the Apex, this falls under customization, and adding some extra functionality. Adding some extra functionality. So these types of activities will falls under customization. So I mean to say, to extend the existing system behavior or to extend the existing system functionality, those things will falls under customization. So you know the difference, like what is configuration and what is customization there, right? So to set up the company information or to set up some data related thing, to set up the organization data is nothing but what is your company information and what is the business hours of your employees and what is the calendar, what is the resources available, what are the resources available, resources like they may have the conference rooms, projectors and all. So just maintaining every resources in the calendar. So just you are setting up the information, this everything falls under set up the organization data. That is configuration part. Got it? Now let's see how to set up this configuration, company information and all. To set up this company information and all, so as I said, whatever the changes you are going to apply for this account. Now this is for the front end users. So whatever you are seeing here, this is for the front end users. What is front end users? The end users who are actually using this product to do their business. Now let's say you have some sales agent. What is the work of sales agent? They can process the customer's information. They can give some quotations to the customer, and they will add some products to the quotation. So it will generate some quotation and will send to the customer, and invoices will be generated. So the sales agent will work on this sales application. But if they whatever as per the business required, if you want to make some changes to the sales application as a developer, you need to click on this setup. Just give me a second. Yes, sorry for the interruption. So here, as I said, to set up some company's information and all, so you need to click on this setup. So this will take you to the setup page, right? So if you click on this setup, simply you can use this setup for now. You can simply click on this setup. It will take you to the new tab. This is your. So if you click on this setup, click on the setup, it will take you to the setup or settings page, setup page. And this is your setup. And to set up the company information, you can here you could see what is the setup here. Let's try to have the UI introduction here. This is your app manager. Again, the same story which we already discussed. If you want to switch between the different apps, you can use the app launcher, and this explains you like in which page you are. And this is like home tab. Home tab will provide you what is the settings you can make, and this is like welcome page and object manager. So what is this object manager? Object manager is nothing but a table, right? As I said, tables in the database. So if you want to see what are the tables already created, what are the objects already created by the Salesforce in the sense, click on this object manager. So here it shows the list of objects available in the database. So there is like a lot of objects like account, activity, address, agent work and all. So what is this objects for? So these objects to maintain the customer's data. So as you are able to see here, leads, task, files, accounts, contacts and all. So how you are able to see all this in the front end? If you are doing some software application, there should be some database. In the database, you have some tables or objects there, so that you are just using the backend data to the front end with the UI interface. This is your UI interface. Here you are able to see the lead. This is nothing but our customers' leads information. So I have some leads. If you have some leads, that is your customers who interested to purchase your product, that information will stored in this leads object. These are my leads, right? So in the backend, here again, you no need to have any basic, I mean to say, you no need to bother about the SQL commands or SQL queries or to access the SQL. It's not required. With your mouse clicks, you are able to create an objects or create a columns or create a relationship between the two objects as well. So you no need to bother about any SQL commands and all, right? So these are the different objects available in the database. So if you see the lead, so this is lead is one object. So you could see the lead. In the same way, you could see the account, right? And you could see the contact. So whatever the columns you are able to see, every object in the database will be displayed here. So in detail about these objects, we'll discuss later. But in the UI introduction part, as I said, in the setup, you could see these two things, home button and object manager. So if you want to create new objects or if you want to change the existing object, you should be opening this particular object manager tab, right? So now let's come back to the home page of setup. So here you could see the quick find button. If you want to search for something, this quick find, this is like global search where throughout the, I mean to say for throughout the organization, if you want to search the data from any objects, you can use this global search. And coming to this quick find, this can be used for your setup. So here there is a lot of items you could see for the setup. So instead of searching for each and everything here, you can use this quick find. Now let's say I want to page, or you can also search here. If you go here, you could see some company settings. In the company settings, expand it, and you can see the company information and all. So you can also go in both the ways, but usually there is a quick find where you can type with the company information and it will fetch you the company information. So this is the under settings, you are going to set all your company's information, right? So regarding this company information, so let's go for business hours. So this is like business hours. If you click on the business hours, what is business hours? Now let's say you are working for a BMW company and this organization were created for a BMW, let's say. So here we are going to set some business hours. That is, maybe my employees are working from 9 to 5. So I can set from 9 to 5. So why this is required in the sense, so in the coming days, you are going to create some automation process. So if any customer approaches you beyond the working hours, then it will automatically send a notification or email. It will automatically send a reply email to the customer. So you have reached our agent in non-working hours. So that will be helpful. Not only this one, so you can also restrict the users not to access your Salesforce account beyond this business hours. You can go up to that extent. I mean, so you can use this business hours in various scenarios. So this is the place where you can set your business hours, right? And coming to the calendar settings here. So there is like public calendars and resources. So, any company will have some public calendars. So why these public calendars in the sense? So if you want to, as I just mentioning there, so if your company has like different conference rooms and different projects are working, different project teams are working. So if they want to book some conference rooms for their meetings, so if they want to book the resource of the company, so they can maintain some public calendars. In the public calendars, they can maintain the resources there. So your teammates can, this is for internal purpose. Your teammates or whatever the team would like to have the conference room, they can book the conference room and they can use those resources, right? Here, whatever the resources you have, you can add the resources and availability of the resources can be added in the public calendars. And coming to the company information. Now let's say whenever we are creating a trial account, I just provided a company information as YIT, that is Yaksha IT. So this is your organization URL and basic information about the organization URL, whatever you have provided. And I have selected default as an English, and this, newsletters, this is like a regular. So address, everything, it is like the same scenario. And here you could see organization edition. So we have used the developer edition and instance here. So this is like it will maintain some different clusters. The Salesforce will maintain the different clusters and the space allocated for you in the Canadian region. So it gives you CAN 96. So this is how you can analyze where the instance was installed. And here the license comes into the picture. In the company information, you could able to see the license information. So here what it talks in the sense, so these are the list of licenses available. Here we just discussed like configurations and customizations, right? Who can do this configuration and customization? So any user with the Salesforce license can only able to perform configurations or customizations. So that means now this user Yaksha YIT, this user was automatically provided the license as Salesforce. So that is the reason I'm able to see all this setup and I can do some customizations or configuration work. So currently for the trial account, it shows total licenses 4. It was provided as 4 trial accounts. In the trial account, it provided 4 licenses. That means 2 licenses already consumed. That is, one is for Org Epic. Org Epic is like one of the Salesforce generated user. That is like system user. That system user will use one license and the other user like Yaksha YIT. So that means 2 users already consumed this Salesforce license. Remaining license is 2. That means in trial account, you can create maximum 3 users, including your current user. That means you can create another 2 users in the system. Why? Because this is like trial account. As I said, there is like different editions we have, right? So based upon the additions, you are going to get huge number of permissions. If you go with unlimited, there is no limited for the user creation. Here for the total license, it shows unlimited for the unlimited edition. That will cost you, as you know, based upon the licenses, the amount you are investing, you are going to get that much licenses there. And for each and everything, there is like different licenses. If you want to have some internal communication, the Teams, Microsoft Teams, in the same way for the Salesforce, we have the chatter free. So you can use total license is 5,000 and you can use this license for the internal communication. And if you want to do some integration or other platform related things, so whatever it provided, you need to provide this license to the user. Then only the user can able to do the integrations or not. So we'll see in detail in the coming session, but this is the place where you could see the user license about your account. And this permission set license and all. So this is like if you want to provide access to some particular related data. So for that, you are going to provide some permission set license. So that means this user will get permission for this particular area because of this permission set license. So this is how you are going to see like future licenses where if you want to have some marketing agents, for the CRM application, we are going to recruit some marketing agents, some sales agent, and some service agent. So simply after recruiting, if you provide the marketing user license, that means the system will allow these users to access only marketing cloud. He can't switch between the different applications, I mean to say, so he can use only marketing application. So that is how, based upon the requirement, in general, we used to have these feature licenses so that it will reduce the cost to the company. That's what, right? So now let's say, if I provided the Salesforce license to the user, so he is going to get access for all the clouds. But that particular agent is supposed to work only for the marketing. So that's waste of my Salesforce license to provide all the cloud access to the marketing agent. So I can provide only marketing agent. That means I'm using less licensing part. So it costs me less. So this is like feature licenses where it is like different licenses it provide. And based upon the license you are assigning, the system will automatically provide access to that particular applications. Usage-based entitlements. What is this usage-based entitlements? So if you are purchasing some license with the Salesforce, so how many API request limit per month? So here it shows 4,50,000. It was disconnected. Let me reshare my screen back. So I was telling that. So it is almost 9:55. So we'll continue in the tomorrow's session. We'll in the tomorrow session we'll see the remaining company calendar settings and remaining company settings and all. So after that, if time permits, we'll see how to create users in the system, and then we'll start creation of the application, that is mini project.
So we still can't hear you, sir.
There is some network issue, it seems. It is okay. I will take this silence as no questions and we'll wind up the session for today, and we'll continue in the tomorrow session at the same time. Thank you all.